Big brother, that's not quite right, Lancelot said with a meaningful smile. Although I have the support of the Duke Montgomery's estate, I'm still far from truly succeeding. Besides, our third brother also has deep backing. Winning won't be easy. But of course, if you were to support me, big brother, then I'd have at least an 80% chance of victory. In his eyes, Leonhardt's value was far greater than that of the Duncan family. If he could persuade Leonhardt to back him, his current 60% chance could instantly rise to 80. The problem was, would Leonhardt be able to set aside his ambitions and place his bet on him? Second brother, you know me. I'm not one for fame or power. I don't enjoy these struggles for authority, Leonhardt replied after some deliberation, subtly declining the offer. He knew his odds of winning were slim, but he wasn't ready to give up. He was the firstborn, the rightful heir to the throne. Apart from his frail health, he had no obvious weaknesses. He had made careful moves, calculated every step, and endured until now. He couldn't quit so easily. Even if he only had a few years to live, even if he could only sit on the throne for one day, he would fight with everything he had. Big brother, forgive me for being blunt, but a man should know his limits, Lancelot said with a faint, sarcastic smile. If you truly have no intention to vie for the throne, living your life as a peaceful, idle prince can still bring you wealth and comfort. No one will make things difficult for you, but once you get involved in this mess, it won't be so easy to withdraw. I hope you think it through. He could tell Leonhardt still had ambition, but lacked influence, and had a very low chance of success. People like that weren't a huge threat, but if they became a stumbling block, it would be troublesome. So he made sure to issue a warning in advance. You're absolutely right, second brother. I understand now. Leonhardt nodded slightly with a smile, though deep in his eyes, a hidden sharpness flickered. That's all I'll say. If you're free, big brother, come visit my estate sometime. It's been a while since we've had a good drink together, Lancelot said with a grin. Next time, for sure. Leonhardt nodded, not rejecting the offer. Big brother, I have other matters to attend to. I'll take my leave. Lancelot cupped his fists and turned to go. Leonhardt squinted slightly, standing there for a long time, his expression shifting between gloom and clarity. Among the four great noble houses, the Duke Montgomery's estate had already publicly declared support for Lancelot. The strongest faction, the Spanner family, was backing Julius. As for the Bryant family, they were closely tied to the Duke Montgomery's estate, meaning they were likely on Lancelot's side as well. Now, the only major house that hadn't picked a side was the Duncan family, and they were Leonhardt's last hope. Without the support of any royal noble house, merely relying on a few scattered aristocrats wouldn't be nearly enough to seize the throne. That meant he had to do whatever it took to win the Duncan family over. After the three princes departed, another esteemed guest arrived at the Duncan family residence. It was none other than Princess Margaret. As always, Margaret wore a veil that concealed her face, though her noble, elegant aura made it impossible to ignore her presence. Unlike the three princes, who all had hidden agendas, Alara's appearance was simply to pay her respects to the late Xavier Chin. This alone made Duncan Chin feel slightly more comforted. It seemed that even in the royal family, not everyone was cold and heartless. At least Princess Margaret still had some sincerity. The Emperor had sighed in front of him more than once, saying that if Margaret had been born a man, he wouldn't have to worry about choosing a crown prince at all. With Margaret's abilities, she could easily handle great responsibilities. Unfortunately, the imperial throne had always been passed from father to son, never to a daughter. The Emperor couldn't go against tradition. After paying her respects, Margaret left without lingering long, avoiding any gossip. However, just before leaving, she exchanged a meaningful glance with Dustin, as if she had something to say. Soon after, Dustin received a message on his phone, from Princess Margaret herself. It contained only one sentence. Important matter. Meet at Sun and Moon Tower tonight. Dustin stayed at the morning hall the entire day, only finding an excuse to leave once night had fallen. After exiting the Duncan estate, he hailed a cab to Sun and Moon Tower. Roughly 40 minutes later, he arrived at the designated location. Sun and Moon Tower wasn't particularly famous in Stonia. On most days, it was dead quiet, with few visitors. However, its revenue was shockingly high, because it was a secret intel hub established by Princess Margaret herself. Anyone who needed information could come here to buy or sell intel. All kinds of intelligence were available, incredibly comprehensive. Its only flaw: it was outrageously expensive. Of course, for high-level players who relied on intel, it was worth every coin, because intelligence from Sun and Moon Tower had saved many lives, right when it mattered most.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe I can feel the world slipping away as you slowly fade from my everyday. You promised forever, a love without end, but now I'm left broken, struggling to mend. I thought we were so tied, destined for a lifetime, love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care. Now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle